NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever, so if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck yeah attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst you legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in free fall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight. Hey gang, so I got a new book out. It's called The Upside of Fear, and it's exactly what you think it's about. It's about the good side of, well, getting scared. In it, we talk not only about the science and biology behind fear, but the psychology as well. And it's not just coming from me, it's coming from some of the best in the sport. Omar Alhigelan, Jeff Provenzano, Maxine Tate, and so many more have contributed their sometimes terrifying stories to the book to help you overcome your fear. So head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com. You're going to find the link to the book there, as well as the other books. It's available in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook right now.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go! Back in the can for another edition of the Lunatic Fringe podcast, and a face I haven't seen in a fucking bunch of years, man. Who the fuck are you, and what do you do?
I'm Dave Cicciarelli, and I'm a full-time skydiving instructor doing tandems in Australia, in Cairns, Australia. I'm currently the chief instructor at Skydive Australia's Cairns location.
Dude, you've been down under for quite some time now, haven't you?
I have. It's been 13 years now.
Wow. It goes fucking fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I've only been once, and it was actually for my 40th, and I went and got a tour from a good friend of both of ours, Derek Massey. He and I drove up the coast a ways, did some scuba diving, then went out to Perth and stuff. It's a hell of a spot, man.
No, it's a beautiful slice of pie here.
Yep.
This country is very beautiful.
And I mean, skydiving's been a thing there for quite some time, but it really over the last few years seems to have started to really blow up.
Yeah, it pre-COVID, it was a large commercial operation,
Mm, mm.
and that's what it is in a lot of locations in Australia. It's a 100% commercial tandem operation.
Sure, sure. Which, I mean, hey, let's face it, the tandems are what get the bills paid.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So how'd you get started? Not necessarily in skydiving, but in anything so-called extreme. What was the beginning for you?
Oh, I guess from a young age, I was drawn to BMX, bike racing, um, just the excitement, adrenaline, um, and then it, channeled through sports. And next thing you know, I'm signed up to do the skydive course with a mate in college.
Now, now where was this at?
I started at the Illinois Valley Parachute Club, a small little club that was just outside of Bloomington, Illinois,
Okay.
a little grass strip cut into the cornfields.
Ha, I know what
And
that's
that,
like.
yeah, and that's where it all began.
Now, what were you going to college for?
I went to college and got a degree in occupational safety.
Occupational safety, and then you end up spending your life jumping out of airplanes.
Yeah, ironic. Yeah,
So you got a degree that you completely ignored.
yeah. I worked 2 years um, as a risk manager for a workers' comp insurance fund in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale,
No shit.
and yeah, I did that for 2 years. My boss was an ex skydiver, so he was cool with me skydiving, and I used to go out to Clewiston, Florida, on the weekends, and I that is where I started my instructing career.
Okay, so you went through and got your initial license in Illinois, graduated from college, got the job in Florida, and was like, "Hey, there's plenty of places to jump around here as well."
Yeah, actually, there was that was the spot in South Florida was Clewiston. It was run by Marty Jones at the time, and Jackie Bang was jumping there at the time, the WGN Channel 9 broadcaster.
Right,
She was
nice.
jumping. She was jumping in Clewiston, and she just left as I got there to take the job in Chicago.
How funny is that?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty wild.
So when you were doing this other job, which still cracks me up, you're doing that job. You're in Florida and you're jumping kind of for fun. But what was the itch to decide to push towards being an instructor as well?
Well, you know what it was? There was a guy named Chris Bagwell that saw potential in me and mentored me. And he said, "You have what it takes to instruct skydiving and get people to excel at it." He goes, "You have the gift." He believed in me. And at that moment, I said, "You know what? This is what I want to do."
Which is awesome that you spotted it and made the decision that that's something that you wanted to do. Now, was the transition difficult for you? Was it hard to find the time to become an instructor while you're working a full-time gig as well?
Well, yeah, but I was only working weekends at that point.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I would do my um, risk management job. I could get most of my work done in 3 days and
Nice.
blast off to the drop zone on Thursday and spend 5 days out skydiving. But
Now,
as we all know, back then it was just there wasn't a lot of business yet. You know?
yeah, it was a bit more of the Wild West for sure.
Yeah, it was more you did it for a passion. You weren't out to make money doing it.
Sure. Now, wh How was it ironic when you were doing that job, were you like having to hold back giggling, telling people that they're pushing the limits and being a little too risky in the workplace, and then racing to get to the drop zone to jump out of airplanes?
Actually, I just played the game. I had the bet. I had the highest loss percentage in the company because all I did was go in and have a cup of coffee with the owner
Right.
and say everything was great. I didn't come down on them and go through all the rules and recommendations because I was a fresh college kid with a suit and tie. How would I know what their business is? You know what I mean?
Sure, sure.
And
Now,
they like that. They like the fact that I just came in and had a cup of coffee with them. You
I,
know,
I bet. Now, how long into instructing and stuff did you decide to leave the suit and tie world behind?
okay. I probably had maybe 100 tandems.
Okay.
Probably had about 200. I did 200 illegal aft jumps. Had 200 aft jumps without a rating before 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 I got my rating. I had already done 200 aft jumps
Well, and this is
at
a, I
Mark.
mean, this is a different time as well because we're talking what, sometime in the early mid 90s?
No, this is 1991.
Okay, yeah, so very early 90s, which
Yeah.
I mean, you could get away with so much more back then.
Yeah, you could, but ironically, USPA found out that me and another guy, Joe Kovar, were doing illegal tandems. So Marty Jones had to bring the aft course to Clewiston to get us legitimate.
I I love that it's not fuck those guys, they can't do this anymore. It's oh shit, we better train them how so they can keep doing this shit.
Well, they knew we had been doing illegal aft, so the pressure was on for us to pass the course.
Sure, I
You know what
bet.
I mean?
Yeah, 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 to very quickly make it legitimate.
Yep.
So,
It
I
was
mean,
quite an experience.
was there a specific event that you were like, something, fuck the real world, I'm gonna just be jumping full time, or was it a gradual thing?
No, it was a decision made with my mentor Chris Bagwell, and he said sometimes you just got to cut away. You just got to cut away and go for it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pull the next reserve. You know what I mean? Go.
Well, I'm guessing that the work you were doing was not particularly fulfilling. I mean,
No, no,
you never struck me as a suit and tie guy.
no. A lot of my friends that I graduated college with that are still in the industry doing that job, they hate it.
Of course.
Boring.
Well,
It's boring.
I mean, I couldn't fathom. We're talking, 30 plus years of risk management. Wow, I can't
Yeah,
wrap my head around
yeah,
that.
yeah. I know. Me
Well,
either.
yeah, I was gonna say clearly you couldn't because you were the one doing the job and moved on. So,
No, the biggest thing for me was my parents helped me through college, and I thought I was going to disappoint them by throwing my degree away and becoming a skydiver.
what did they think of it?
You know what? They supported me the entire time.
Really?
Yep. They to my amazement,
Yeah,
they backed
because
me and they said, you know what? You found something that you love to do, and that's rare.
for
And they
sure.
said, be the best you can be at it, is what they said.
I mean, I guess everybody. I have preconceived notions of what parents were like back then. I mean, and back then I say it like it was fucking, the old Wild West or some shit. But when you
Seems like
think,
it.
right, it does now. But when you
Yeah,
think of more traditional Midwest families and Midwest mom and dads, you don't see them being supportive of their kid basically walking away from a degree and going, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go jump out of airplanes for a living."
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
that's pretty wild that they were that open to it.
No, it was. That was my biggest fear when I cut away, was to have to tell them that I was going to not pursue the 4-year college degree that they helped support me.
Sure, sure.
But it turned out they embraced it and they supported me 100%.
So this was when you did this, did you stay at the operation that you were already jumping in Florida?
No, actually, what happened was once I cut away, Chris Bagwell and I left Clewiston and opened up a drop zone 30 minutes from Clewiston in LaBelle, Florida.
Okay. And
And
what prompted
it
that?
was a little grass strip, ex-Vietnam vet owned it. Top-notch pilot. He started skydiving, and we started a little operation there for about a year.
Nice. Now, what was the mentality behind that? Because that's a big risk as well. Not just walking away from a college degree, but now walking away and starting up a drop zone.
Yeah, it was. It was. It proved to be unsuccessful, but it did lead me to my next journey, which was that's how I met Roger Nelson.
I was gonna say I knew we'd get around to it. You got to spend a fair amount of time working with one of the legends in the sport, and one of the names that most jumpers, hopefully most jumpers, still remember fondly.
Yeah, I actually I went to how to run a drop zone seminar that Roger Nelson was doing in Lake Wales, Florida.
Okay.
So I came up from LaBelle, Florida, where the drop zone was, and I was one of his students. And I asked a lot of questions, and he said, "See me after class. You got some good ideas."
Nice.
And then he pulled me aside and said, "Hey, how'd you like to come up and run the AFP program for me?"
No shit.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
So
And
literally just you attending as a student, and next thing you know, you're running the
yes,
AF. Fucking hell.
well, we opened Lake Wales, Florida. We went in on it together. I threw some money, he threw more money, and we opened Lake Wales drop zone. That was going to be, you know what I mean? That was going to be our Florida drop zone.
Sure.
And then once we realized it wasn't going to be that successful or profitable, he said, "Why? How about if I bring you home and take you up to Chicago?"
Wow. And I mean, this is at the very beginning. I mean, Skydive Chicago's been going for quite some time now, but this would have been what, mid '90s?
Yes, yes,
So
it
it
would.
was
Yeah,
shit
that was
was
like 95. Yeah,
so it was really starting to get going then.
yeah, yep.
I
That's
mean,
about when it started. That's when the momentum started going.
did that freak you out at all walking in from, I mean, literally kind of just chucking it all, and next thing you know, you're helping to, set up a program in what's becoming a very successful, busy drop zone?
It was intimidating,
I bet.
you know what I mean? But it was a passion, and I saw his vision.
I
I
mean,
saw training high volume students, you know.
how was it just on a day to day? How was it working with Roger? Because I've heard all kinds of crazy stories about the personality that he was. So how was it for you?
You know what? It was amazing. I learned so much from him. He told me all the ins and outs and secrets and all the dealings with a drop zone.
Sure. Well,
He,
and I,
we were
I'm,
good friends. We were good friends, not just colleagues. We were pretty good friends.
which is awesome. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
lucky enough to have Melissa on and Rook on, And with Melissa, I talked a bit more about Roger, and of course, she's written the books about him and everything. And
Yep.
I mean, the stories are absolutely wild. I was never lucky enough to
Yeah.
meet him myself, but by the time that I came up in the sport, he was already a legend.
Yeah.
And I mean, the books just confirmed all the stories that everybody whispered but wouldn't really talk about otherwise.
Yeah.
So it had to be
Yeah.
kind of wild to be there.
Yeah. No, it was. It was. It was. He was a remarkable human being. You know, he was like the Superman of skydiving.
Sure, sure.
He
Now,
really
how
was.
was I mean, that the AFP progression would have been pretty new back then, yeah?
Yeah, it was. But you know what he told me was when Coleman, who created AF, died in that balloon accident.
Mm,
He said that he had not finished writing the AF program. They took his notes and wrapped it up and said, okay, it's in 8 or 9 jumps.
mm.
And Roger told me that Ken was still working on an extended program, similar ideas of what Roger had with the AFP program.
Mm. I mean, the AFP program was fucking fantastic. It's what I went
It's
through.
the best program in the world.
Yeah. Well, I have people all the
17,
time.
18 jumps with an instructor.
Oh
You
yeah.
can't beat it.
Well, I'm sure I'm like you, and I have people all the time that'll come up and say, "Hey, I want to go out and become a skydiver," but they've never jumped before, and they always ask, "Which should I do a tandem first? Should I do AFF and go right into it, or this or that?" And my answer is always the same. It's like, look, nobody knows how they're going to react to free fall their first time until they're in free fall. You can
Yeah,
be
exactly.
the most cool, calm, and collected individual on the planet, and free fall will make you shit out your ears.
Yeah, exactly.
You just don't
Yep.
know. So
Yep.
the AFP progression to me was always a great way to go, okay, this person can keep his head screwed on straight in this environment. Now let's start learning.
Yep. Absolutely. You know, an old timer once told me at the club I started, one of the hardest things to do is to think in free fall.
Yep. Yep.
And that, you know what I mean? I know what he meant,
Oh yeah. No, I do too.
you
I mean,
know?
I was very thankful that my first experience in the air was strapped to a guy that I trusted, who maybe I should have, maybe I shouldn't have trusted. I didn't fucking know
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
exactly.
he seemed really trustworthy, and so I had not a care in the world except for getting my foot out on that step and doing what he told me to do. That was it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And it made it
exactly.
so nice to actually realize, oh yeah, no, I didn't completely freak out. I wasn't terrified in free fall. I was able to do all the little things that I needed to do to enjoy it. Let's see if we can add a little bit more on and start learning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
well, and I'm sure for you as an instructor teaching AFP, it's great to have that kind of connection from the very beginning with your students.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then the nice thing about it is the beginning of the program is a gradual learning process. You're not throwing 100 things at them on one jump. So it's just a building block. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Still on level 4 or level 5, you're still just teaching falling straight down with a couple minimal turns. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. Yep. Just the
It's
little
hands
basics.
down the best program I've ever been involved with.
So when you first started implementing that program in Chicago, was it well met by the industry, or was there any fight back and, hey, this isn't traditional?
No, I think they knew what Roger was doing. Um, I think the flack that he got was about the 2 jump masters because AFP is a 1 jump master program.
Right.
But
Yeah.
as he pointed out to me in the very beginning, he said, "What do you do at the exit funnels with 2 people? One guy lets go."
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
So,
It,
so there you are.
yeah, it becomes the AFP right there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And what I found about one instructor jump programs like similar to AFB is the student has one person to get the information from.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're not flooded with two separate hand signals from the right, the left. They know one guy on my left side, that's the guy I'm going to get the commands from. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
it's more in like you said, it's more of a personal program because it's one on one.
Sure. Now, as you were implementing this, obviously by then you've walked away from the previous career, but what were the long-term plans at this point? Were you just like, all right, fuck it, we'll see what comes next, or did you have specific goals in mind?
No, I was on the fly, literally on the fly. No, I had never had any predetermined goals or 5 year plan, or
Sure.
I was just living it day by day or year by year, or
Which is so
you know
funny
what I
because
mean?
obviously you had this plan and this career lined out, but the cool thing for you is you gave that career a shot, and decided, oh, this shit is not for me, and had the balls to actually chase something different, whereas most people just out of fear alone aren't gonna change.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So as
And
you're no, please go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. No, I was gonna say, and like even now, like the thing about Australia is you're still accepted as an old school skydiver here.
Right.
Like there's the average age of a tandem instructor in Australia is 55, 56 years old.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. I mean, as I sit here talking to you, I'm 55, and the idea of chucking drogues full time terrifies me now.
I know. I just turned 58 last week and I'm still going at it. And I had that preconceived in my head that you have to retire.
Right.
And I'm seeing guys, one of the owners, operators, the competitor of ours, he's 72 years old. He's still going.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Flying helicopter, flying planes, tandems, aft.
I mean, our good buddy Derek Massey's another one, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're the older generation.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting here in my fucking grandpa sweater with my space heater going at my fucking feet. It's I somewhere it happened, and I don't know about you, but I wake up in the morning and I still think I'm fucking 18 or 20 years old.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
until I try and sit up
Absolutely.
out of bed and everything hurts, and then I remember, oh yeah, no.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying, man.
So how do you
Um,
maintain the energy level to be able to continue to go out and do what we used to think was a young man's job?
um, it's a good question. It has there are waves of um, questioning whether I should still be doing it. You know what I mean? But
Sure.
I finally, once again, came to the realization that this is what I do. This
Sure.
was what I was put on this planet to do. So you can either run away from it or you can embrace it and go full speed ahead and put the best energy you can into it.
Sure. Well, and I suppose one of the benefits to being an older jumper is you learn along the way all the different little ways to make your life easier that you might not have known when you were a, younger jumper and you're just trying to muscle through everything, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure.
I
Yep,
mean,
absolutely. But
all the little, even like the act of tightening the laterals when you're hooking up the tandem students, man, when I was a young guy, I would just fucking throw my shoulder and bicep into it and yank those things in place, and then somewhere along the lines you're like, oh, but if I do this, this, and that, I'm not tearing my fucking shoulder trying to just attach my student. Those
Exactly.
those stupid little things that make doing those 7 to 10 to 12 jumps a day a lot easier on you.
Yep. Yeah, it's called tricks of the trade. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Sure. Well, now I've also heard from Derek specifically that conditions in Australia for doing tandems can sometimes get pretty sketchy.
Yeah, yeah, I think, but now it's become even more regulated.
Mm,
Um, Back, pre-COVID, yeah, we were jumping in some marginal conditions. You know
sure,
what I mean? But
sure.
now the whole industry, commercial wise, has clamped down safety. So you can't get away. Jumping in Vegas, you would jump in that stuff probably now.
Oh no, my God, no! I mean, some of the stuff that Derek and I jumped through in Vegas, you
Yeah,
look back going,
yeah,
"What the?
exactly.
Why were we even getting in a plane, let alone jumping out
Yeah,
of it?" Yeah,
exactly,
yeah, fucking
exactly.
scary stuff. Now, am I mistaken? Australia's pretty much one big skydiving federation. Like, the Skydive Australia owns the majority of the commercial operations there.
That's correct. They own the majority of them. There are still some private owners, but I think we have now maybe 9 locations throughout
Okay.
Australia. Yep.
I mean, I suppose in some respects that can be a good thing because you're able to, especially if you've got influence with upper management, make positive changes that are going to go across the board, right? They'll have a positive
Yep.
effect on a number of people,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
which is a
Yep.
good thing, though, right?
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, for sure.
And some of the
Absolutely.
some of the locations that I know you guys are jumping in are stunning. I mean, the location that you're in's got to be beautiful from free fall.
Yeah, it is. We're surrounded by the mountains. You can see the ocean. There's a inlet or river there as well. And it's surrounded by cane fields,
Nice.
sugarcane. It's similar climate to South Miami.
Okay. Now, what was the spark to make you decide to head to Australia in the first place?
Um, remember we were jumping in New Zealand,
Yep, yep.
and that last stint that we were in New Zealand, I got a call from a guy from Australia that was the operations manager in Wollongong, south of
Okay.
Sydney, and he jumped with me at Skydive Chicago. He was an instructor there. And he called me up and said, "Hey, we're looking for an instructor. Would you like to come over here and we'll sponsor you on a long stay work visa?"
Nice.
So I was already in New Zealand. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just hop on a flight over to Australia.
Kind of the coolest thing about our sport, right, is you end up with a couch in every country and potential job
Yeah.
offers all around the world.
Yeah, for sure.
So what was that? I mean, because that's an enormous decision as well. Because going to someplace like New Zealand on a short contract is one thing, but deciding to pull up stakes and move literally to the other side of the planet, that had to be a big choice.
That was, and the biggest thing was once again, my parents, my dad had already passed away in 2001.
Mm,
So my mom was by herself for 11 years. And that was the hardest thing because I was really tight with my mom.
sure.
And I asked her, I said, "Mom, what do you think?" And she said, "If you don't take this opportunity, you're going to regret it the rest of your life."
Yeah, for sure. Hey, by the way, you're
She
you're
said,
kind of
"I'll be fine." She said, "I'll
you're
be
you're
fine."
you're kind of cutting out on your audio a little bit. Did your microphone get adjusted somehow or?
No, I haven't touched it.
Okay, are you using your earbuds? Because I think maybe
Yeah,
they're picking
should
up
I take
sound.
them out?
Let's see how it sounds without, just on the computer audio.
All right, let me shut her down.
We'll see how it sounds. It's just you started to fade out a little bit. All right.
How's that?
Yeah, perfect. So
Okay.
you were saying your mom was saying that if you don't take the opportunity in Australia, you'd be crazy.
She said, "Yeah, you're going to regret it the rest of your life." She said, "I'll be fine." She said, "Follow your passion."
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I mean, especially she was, this would have been 15 years ago. So she was how old at the time?
Oh, she was 2078 at that time.
Oh, wow. So at 78 years old to tell your son, yes, move to the other side of the planet and chase your dreams. Your mom was kind of a badass.
Yeah, she was. She
That's
really was.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So when you
Yeah.
first got over to Australia, was it everything that you had hoped it was going to be? Because I mean, you've been there a long time now.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was the where I started in Wollongong. It was the biggest location they had, and there was three teams of nine. So there were nine, instructors on each load. There were three teams, and we were doing 13 to 15 jumps a day.
Man, yeah, that's right back at it.
Yeah, it was.
So now you're not still in the same location though, right? You're in Cairns now.
No, I started in Wollongong, and then I requested that they opened up a drop zone in Perth, where Derek was,
Yep.
and I was there for 5 years. And then I was a chief instructor over there for several years, and then I decided I needed a change, and I wanted to get transferred to Cairns, which is the tropical area
Hmm.
of Australia.
Now
And
that's got to be one of the really nice things about being with a bigger organization, especially if you've got the longevity with them that you do, is being able to change shit up if you want to and go to different locations.
yeah, no, it is. You can get transferred. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
So for people that are listening, I have a lot of the younger jumpers that will listen in, and a lot of them are thinking towards, their future in the sport and wanting to aim towards becoming an instructor and all that. What kind of tips do you give to somebody starting out these days, specifically in Australia, but worldwide, that are just getting started in jumping and then they know that they're going to want to go the instructor route? What do you advise them to do?
Um, I would advise them to be passionate about the sport and about sport jumping.
Hmm.
I
So,
think I think a lot of people that get into it that want to do work in the industry try to skip and bypass being a competent and experienced sport jumper.
that's a big thing to fight that burnout as well, right?
Yeah, it is. It is for sure.
I
It
mean, I
is.
think that was one of the big things with me is I did tandems for so many years and camera for so many years that I kind of forgot what being a fun jumper was like. And although
Exactly.
although I absolutely loved being a tandem instructor and I loved the experiences I got to share, when I actually got back in the air as a fun jumper, it clicked almost from the first jump. I'm like, "Oh fuck, this is why I got into this sport."
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. You lose focus to that.
Yeah. Now, that
You
being
know what I
said,
mean?
are you still pretty active as a sport jumper?
I try to be. Yeah, I do. It's tough at our location because it's a tandem factory and the
Sh-
loads are normally full.
Sure.
But there is a sport jumping club about 2 hours south of here in Tully, and I try to make my way down there on the weekends. And
Awesome.
I'll go down. Yeah, I'll go down and do some swooping, or I assist with AF as well.
Nice. So you still got your toes in all the little pools.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, that's
Yep.
fucking awesome, man. So
Yep.
speaking of, for anybody that is listening that wants to hear more about Chicago days or what it's like to chuck a real job and fucking go be a member of the circus, so to speak, or they want to come out and do a fun jump at the drop zone you go to on the weekends, how do they find you? Like, are you on social medias or is there a drop zone they
Yes.
can reach out
Absolutely.
to?
Yeah. All you got to do is go on the Google Skydive Australia, and all of our locations will come up.
Awesome.
You go to the website, it has photos, it has videos, it has which drop zones you can sport jump at, which drop zones are just tandem factories.
Sure. Sure.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome, though. It's nice that they do that as well, right? Because, I mean, in the States, there are more than a few tandem operations that really are not, they don't cater to fun jumpers and they don't tell anybody. So fun jumpers show
Yeah,
up,
exactly.
and if
Yeah.
they haven't gotten word through the pipeline that that's not a good fun jumper drop zone, then they end up showing up and wasting their day.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
think
awesome.
there's two of our locations that do fun sport jumping or fun jumping, and that's Byron Bay and Bowen Heads down in Victoria, down
Very cool.
south.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Well, I've been lucky enough to have a number of Aussie jumpers on the show talking about a lot of the different stuff that goes on, and some of the events that they have down there are very reminiscent of the massive events that the States used to have. The one that comes,
For sure.
the one that comes to mind immediately is Funny Farm.
Yeah, right. Yep.
The
Absolutely.
stories I hear about Funny Farm remind me of the stories that I used to hear
Yeah.
about the convention.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and it was a few years back that I saw that fucking insane picture of swoopers and motocross guys doing backflips and me, man. So
Yeah.
and you would know better than me, but it almost feels like part of the skydiving world in Australia is very reminiscent of when you and I were coming up in the sport, like in the late 90s.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like Funny Farm is the one place that you can go sport jump that isn't regulated.
Right. Well, isn't it like it's 2
No,
hours
self-regulated.
self-regulated? Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
2 hours down a dirt road in the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere.
yeah.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
L-
no, it's cool.
Leave it to Australians to come up with something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Dave, I'll tell you what, man, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to sit down with me, have a little chat about the history of the sport and some of the shit that you've been up to. And I honestly, at this point, I can't wait to see how long we all last in the sport, man. I don't think we're going
man.
anywhere. I think
Yeah, no.
I think you and guys like Derek are going to be the guys that are still deep into it in your 70s going, these fucking kids can't keep up.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it, man. I love it. All right, brother, man. Awesome talking to you.
Okay, you too.
Take care. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast brought to you as always by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the Extreme Sports Collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems, check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving, go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD, head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available, hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Damn.